Hello everybody, it's the Pepper Wolverine over here, back with another installment of the Pepper Wolverine review. Something a little bit special for me this time. This time it's something I grew out, something in my basement. Something I started out 162 days ago in an aero garden. It outgrew that aero garden and I transferred it to a 17-gallon deep water culture type setup with quite a few air stones, and just pulled off the first two pods of the Khang Starracha pepper, the phenotype. So this one is something he's put out there as the Starracha Hornet, one of the few phenotypes that was desired by him. From his original Starracha pepper, which maybe no one outside of Mr. Khang Star knows that cross. I tried growing this out for the summer season, this past season, and never made it past the insect issues I had outside. So as soon as I realized that, I immediately planted the last couple of seeds that I had that were gifted to me by Mr. Khang Star, and put them to good use and got the first two peppers off of it. As you can see, I've got two distinct phenos, different, off of the pepper plant that I have in the basement. This one, a little bit more like the chosen pheno for the Hornet. Original Hornet, the F2 and F3 that he's got some videos out there on his YouTube channel, so if you're not familiar with him, check him out, and I'm sure you are familiar with him. And if not, but check out Khang Star and just Google up Starracha Hornet F2, F3, whatever. And they had a crooked hook to them with a slight sting on it, kind of like this one. This is kind of a mini version of that. And the other pheno on it is kind of reverting back a little bit to the original Starracha pepper, which kind of slightly resembles a less wrinkled Reaper with a more pronounced bonnet shape to it, which this one has, and coming out to a nice little stinger on it. I'd actually sent him a picture. I'm like, hey, look what I pulled off of it. Which one's the seed saver? I was thinking this one. It's like, no, save seeds from the perfect one. I was like, well, I only got two peppers. Yeah, there's probably about 30 peppers left on the plant. Half of them look like this, half of them look like this. This is the bigger pepper, so this is going to be our Starracha Hornet review. While this is closer to the desired pheno, this one's a little bit heavier. They're both really dense. These are in a, like I said, in a DWC setup in the basement using Flora series, 3-part series nutrients. Whoa. That's pungent. So it's a hydroponic plant, not grown in soil. That smells awesome. Fruity. Medium walled pepper on this one. A little bit of a placenta, not huge, but a little bit. And the way that I cut it, it's all over here on this side. Inside walls are glistening. There aren't any yellow pools of oil, but it's definitely glistening. It's not overly odoriferous. It just smells pretty fresh. But I've kind of noticed that when using the Flora series on some indoor plants, you can't compare them per se with some of the things you might pull outside. It's got a pleasant aroma, but it's not a floral aroma. Maybe just a hair sweet to it. Slightly a hair floral on that first half. Oh, and we got a little bit of that pepper growing inside of a pepper thing going on here. Look at Park Ballin, what, I forgot how it's pronounced right now. It was starting. There was a pepper starting to grow on the inside. Yeah, she can go outside. There's that little thing that was growing inside. I got a little bit quiet because that heat just kicked in on a serious mouth burn at an unexpected pace. As I was slightly feeling the effects of the first half and starting to really chomp down on the second half of it and bit the second half into really, really small pieces and enjoying some of the flavor that was being created by the juices. It just kicked the heat into overdrive in like a kind of a dual wave. It wasn't the hugest of peppers. Maybe a $50 size pepper. Pretty dense. That's a serious amount of heat kicking in. Everything's on fire. Some slightly fruity tones in the background. Almost like a little bit of Scotch bonnet type sweetness to it. But a heat level that's just otherworldly. My goodness. Well, this is this first super hot that I've eaten out of the hydroponic grows that I got going on downstairs. Just finished off all the outside or outdoor peppers that were either gifted to me or that I grew or things of that nature. Had a couple of my Hobbs and arrows from the basement, same nutrients, and had a Uruguay surprise. This is the first real super hot. I did have, I'm sorry, had a yellow Fatale times yellow brain strain from the basement as well, and the other of the two arrow gardens. This Starracha Hornet occupied one, the Fatale brain strain occupied the other. This one's in a heat class all of its own. The amount of saliva that's being produced in my mouth is amazing. In between each breath, I'm swallowing mouthfuls of saliva that are being created. Tongue is just on absolute fire, like a hot poker. This is as hot as anything I've had this season. not a whole lot of flavor. This thing just nuclearized my taste buds. They're inoperable at the moment. And there's no very little floral nature to it, no bitterness, a hair of fruitiness in that saliva. My daughter saw me in pain and she made me this glass of water, and I'm so tempted to grab it. Well, I did just grab it, actually. I'm so tempted to drink it, but I'm gonna hold off for a minute. Well, there's a distinct difference growing outside, growing inside. On the inside, when you keep a little bit easier to control what's going on with your plant, versus outside where you leave it up to what you already did to the soil and what you can add to it, versus indoors. It can take up what it needs, utilize what it needs, and I'm thinking that might be what produced such an extreme hot effect of a pepper. I've had the Khangster Red. I grew that out, and that was pretty darn good, pretty tasty. Slightly similar because it had the MOA Scotch bonnet in it, but that was a Brazilian Ghost. Brazilian Ghost times MOA Scotch bonnet, something. This is, I believe, an MOA Scotch bonnet crossed with the Starracha, the original Khang cross. This thing is ferocious. It's almost making me sweat. Almost. Actually, maybe it's making me glisten. Make my nose run. And as I'm sitting here doing a review, my younger daughter, Mary, is finishing off a little bit of artwork. She's turning into quite the accomplished artist. This is her most recent, as of like 30 seconds ago, finished artwork. Nice village with some trees going up the mountainside with a road going up the mountainside. That's awesome, man. Good job. Like it. No, this pepper's getting me pretty good, I'll tell you that. Wow. We're approximately like 9 maybe 10 minutes, 10 minutes in. This thing hasn't peaked yet. I mean, this thing has an incredible amount of potential. The interesting thing is there's no bitterness to it. There was almost no floral nature to it. And typically when you get a pepper in this heat class, they're really floral. This was not that floral, at least from my growing conditions and hydroponically. And man, that's just a extreme level of heat. This thing it's hot, it's up there. I'll put this in the top 3 to 5 of any peppers I had this season for sure. Whether that was the unknown Reaper cross from my garden, the Leviathan Scorpion, the hottest peach pod ever from Justin White, a couple contenders from Gnarly Pods, a couple crosses that were sent to me from Jimmy Johnson. Wow, this is a impressive heat level. Like I said, it wasn't that huge of a pod. Kind of looked like a Reaper without the tail. Well, it just wasn't as bumpy and had a slightly more bonnet 3-lobe shape to it, which this one kind of has that. Wanted to be kind of 3-lobe, and I didn't eat this one because I like the shape of this one more. I mean, I got lots of peppers that kind of look Moruga-like or Reaper-like without tails. So I'm gonna pursue something a little bit more like this, which is a little bit closer to the Khang Star preference for the Starracha Hornet. And a couple more of them on the plant. See if I can do something to promote them to get a little bit bigger. Actually, I don't need to promote them to get bigger. I mean, that's big stuff in a small package. Khang, thanks for sharing the seeds with me. I guess it was last year. Finally got around to putting them into good use, and it's a hell of a pepper, man. That's got some serious potential to it. Be saving seeds out of this one and growing this one out in numbers and see what happens. Or at least I'll hold on to this one and see if another similar pheno that gets a little bit more wicked or a little bit more of the hook shape for the desired Hornet shape. This is a incredible specimen, incredible pepper. Nice fruity flavor left in the mouth, no bitterness, no floralness. Hard to get to the flavor with the amount of heat that was in that pepper. That's impressive. Thanks for sharing it with me. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And Khang, congratulations again on the plus 100,000 subs. That's pretty cool. I'm glad I'm one of them. Take care. You guys have a good one.